2NL, play and explain. I haven't done any of these in quite a while, so I look forward to playing some poker. And I've already played, as you can see, about 40 hands, and wow, look at this. This guy is now over betting this, and he is quite short stacked, so I think I'll have to fold. I mean, to any normal bet I would call, but this looks to me like he really has a big hand that he wants to protect. Maybe I was wrong, but still, here on the left I am gonna go for the 3-bet. On the right, obviously folding. Now this guy shoves. Okay, we have to let go of our 3-betting hand there. So at this point, okay, on the left we have some recreational players, and yes, both don't have a full stack, but it's still good enough to just call, expecting this guy to call, which did not happen. Okay, and we get a monotone board. So the question is whether we want to go for a... I need to concentrate on both now. This is quite tricky. This is a call here on the left, and on the right I will just take my... I mean, there is not much I win against, but the problem is I can't get him to fold, I think. Now this is getting tricky, but I do have top pair. I will call. And let's see, on this river, since he checks, I mean, he could have pocket sixes, but I am still going to go for a bet here, and I'm going to go something like 17, half pot, and we get snapped off, which is... Wow, I was going to say this is a good sign that we're getting snapped off there, because it means we can't have a 6, but he did have a 6, so this was a value bet gone wrong. But yeah, I just didn't expect him to just call there, but yeah, played it very passively, his trips, but maybe because there was so much strength from both players. Yeah, anyway, not a great start so far, but maybe it can get a little bit better. Pocket kings might be a hand that could bail us out. Okay, so this is definitely one where I'm going for a squeeze, obviously. 13 seems about right. And we get a call, not from the player that I expected. And I'm going to check this one. And since he checks behind now, we definitely have the green light to go for some bets. This guy bets, he bets big. I'm okay to just give up this hand. And now that's not great. I mean, what do we beat here? We don't really beat much. I will have to, well, but I will have to check this one. And the reason why I check here is that I might check call this. So the thing is, if he has a pocket pair that got counterfeit, he will bluff with it. Now, he might have a 10 and bet this, but this is one where I will call, and he did have the 10, so that's what I thought that he might have. We got unlucky there on the river, but I do think this was still a good call, because there isn't much... Like with a jack, I feel like we might have heard from him a little earlier. Sorry, I have to concentrate here on the right. I have to check. And here we can just go with a small bet. And here we will just fold. And now that the diamonds come in, we are going to bet fairly small again, but a little bit bigger. I think it's 4 big blinds. And if we get called, I would just jam that river. Here we can 3-bet. And we get called. And against, so on this flop, I want to just check. Here we can go with a small one. And he bets pretty big here, but they definitely need to call. And now I can go with the overbet on this board. We're gonna check call probably once again, but with the all-in is a tough one. And now can we get him to fold anything? Here he called the overbet, and I need to. Okay, the ace, and here I have to fold now. This is a bluff catcher, and he just jammed. I just don't think that he does this with a lot of bluffs. Okay, so the pocket kings end again. So when he calls there, I don't think he has a jack. He can definitely have a 10. Sorry, I need to isolate this fella here. King queen is a fold. Okay, so let's play this one again. So I 3-bet, he called, and now it goes check, check. And I think, yeah, maybe he has a. I'm going to isolate here as well. And so he could still have a jack, he could have a 10, he could have a pocket pair and below that. And then when I bet the turn, he calls, he could definitely do that with a pocket pair. And then on the river, it's very natural for him to bet anything that's now a counterfeit pair. So I think that was actually a good call there, especially because the size wasn't too huge, half pot. But unfortunately, that didn't work out here against this price, even though we're out of position. Well, I don't want to call, but I will go for a 4-bet. Yeah, but in general, not running very good. Here, 4-bet, I am going to continue betting. And I think at this point I can try to go for something like half potish. And we do get the fold. So this is the first time I think something actually worked out in this session. I haven't been very lucky so far. Maybe I am a bit too rusty at 2NL. Okay, this is a terrible board from my hand, but I am still going to c-bet it because there's still a lot of hands that I can get to fold. Now there are 2 flush draws out there. He did decide to call. I don't think I want to continue barreling, and I will just give up. I mean, I have some showdown equity, I guess, but not much. I'm gonna raise pocket 4s under the gun, and we get a fold. So let's see, Jack 3, definitely not a hand we want to play. I don't really love suited connectors, but I will open them in the cutoff and we get called by the button, which is not great. This is a board that I will always check out of position. And since he didn't take the bait, I am going to overbet this one now, hoping that he has a queen or a pocket pair that he would call with, or a flush draw. Now, I mean, I'm not in love with that flush draw, with the flush that's come in, but he could still have a lot of other hands. I am definitely going to bet this one, and I can still get called by a queen for this size. Yeah, or something else. What did he have? He did have the queen. Excellent. So there, we played it well. Oh, and we got aces. Let's see if we can do something with them. The last 4 times I had aces, every single time everyone folded, and this is the case here as well. So 5 in a row now. Let's see what we can make this record. And on this board here on the right, this is definitely a board that I want to bet quite frequently, and definitely with this sort of a hand. Queen 10 suited, I will just put in a 3-bet. Fortunately, not much action on the right, but we do get the fold on the left, which is good. 6-4 suited, I would have defended that, but not gonna defend it, obviously, after the 3-bet. I say obviously, I hope it is obvious to everyone that we don't want that. Okay, Jack 10 off. This is something a lot of players do wrong here as well. They would just call here. They think, ooh, I have a decent hand, but absolutely not in the small blind. I would even fold that in the big blind, even for that small amount. Okay, Queen Jack suited. That's a hand that we can 3-bet, even though this is a player who doesn't like to fold to 3-bets too much. But this is an excellent board to go for a c-bet, and we get the fold. So going a bit better now after a bumpy start. And here this is another one where players would make a mistake, especially to 3.5x, but even to 2x, this is just a fold. Ace-10 off is not as great a hand as it might look. Pocket tens is a pretty good hand though, and we are quite deep, so I am going to 3-bet. In position, definitely going to do that with pocket tens, even though it was an early position raise, but I just play a 3-bet or fold strategy anywhere except for the big blind. There are some exceptions to it, but not many. Not worth talking about them much now, but if you'd like to know that, then ask me and I will elaborate on that. But in general, the reason why I don't want to do that, to call from the field, is because I don't want to be passive. I want to have the initiative. I don't want to just call there. So that is why. 10-9 off, also a hand I will not open. I will open it on the button, but not on any other position. Here, King 5, when he min clicks it like this, I am going to isolate him. Oh, I mean, but not isolate, that's the wrong term. I mean, I will 3-bet. And here it is a range bet board. We could do it, but I will just check behind. And the turn is not great, but I do have a king, and I will potentially let him spaz out a bit, but I mean, this is really a horrible run out from my hand, and when he makes it so small, there's not much I beat, is there? Like this, but on the other hand, we're getting such a good price, and this could be, it could be spaz. I expect to lose almost always, but I think, what are we getting? 32 for 6. That is about 5 to 1. So for that price, I will just call. Look at the ace of spade. Okay, well, and interesting that he only called there pre-flop, but we actually got lucky because we could have lost quite a bit more against ace king there in the first place. So yeah, he only raised there to 2x small blind versus big blind with ace king, but that's the thing, like, he did it because he was afraid that I would just fold when he had such a monster. Okay, king 7, definitely not the right color to c-bet, especially not out of position, and against two players on this sort of board I'm not going to be very aggressive, and I am just going to give up. Because if someone has an ace, they will call, and yeah, there it is, the ace. Okay, let's see if we can turn this one around. Pocket tens. Definitely going to isolate, and I'm going to isolate fairly big. King 9 off is just a fold against the cutoff raise to 2.5. We do get the call, and unfortunately this really isn't a great one for us. Okay, aces again. Let's open and see if we can make it 7 in a row. And we can indeed. 7 in a row where we do not not lose anything. Or do not win anything. Yeah, we do, but there's just the blinds. Here, the range is quite wide now. He might be spazzing for 5 big blinds. Definitely going to bluff catch, and look at that. He had 8-3 offsuit. This guy limped with 8-3 offsuit, and then he bet it on the river, probably for value, I'd imagine. Okay, limp called 8-3 offsuit. So imagine if I had folded there. I mean, this would have been criminal, wouldn't it? And so we do get some value on with tens on a board with an ace and 2 kings. That's amazing. Okay, queen 9 off, definitely not a continue in the small blind. Ace jack suited on the left table. Well, this one will definitely be an open. And we get folds all round. But yeah, with aces it's crazy now. 7 in a row that I do not get any sort of action. So I wonder when this will change. Maybe it will change today. Pocket deuces, I will just open them. So that's the thing, like in these soft games where we sometimes get multi-way pots or where everyone folds because there are nits everywhere, opening pocket deuces is actually fine. King queen here I will just call, king queen off, and we do have pretty good flop actually on both. Going to bet big here. Here he bets, if he had bet small, I would have raised, but against the bigger bet, I will just call. Let's see what he does. I mean, this is a hand where I feel quite comfortable with, but he could have ace-king. And now we're getting really a terrible one here, 7-6. I will just call because we're in position. And I would have, I mean, I am still going to bet this one, but I'm going to bet small. And here we have a hand. Oh, did we? What happened here? Oh yeah, of course we just chopped there. There was a mistake. I didn't realize it because I was busy with the one on the right. And here we have a gut shot, but this is definitely a fold in this case. Yeah, the ace wasn't great there, unfortunately. So what can we do? Okay, how are we doing? We're losing $3, which is actually quite a lot at 2NL. But yeah, we've just had a few situations that weren't ideal. Okay, 10-7, I'm gonna fold this, but I just want to mark this player as a non-crusher. Queen 10 suited, definitely opening. Jack it off as a fold, even though we would have hit top pair. A 7 suited, we could 3-bet that against the button open. No need to do that though. We can just raise it in the small blind. And we get 3-bet, and it's a pretty big 3-bet. It took a while, but he's an unknown player. I will just fold. Could have 4-bet, definitely not gonna call there. But because I don't know him, I just decided to fold. Okay, Jack 10 of clubs is just really not amazing, but I will c-bet this one. Because there are queen highs, king highs that I can fold out, potentially even ace high of the wrong suit. So that's important to recognize. Sometimes it's worth betting in those spots even though you don't really have a lot of backdoors. Okay, this is one where I will just 3-bet here now because I don't want to play multi-way as monkey in the middle. even though I only have to put in one big blind. But this, well, uh, this is really annoying now, 30, 60. I need 33% equity, which I get against any pocket pair which he might have. And against ace X, I will almost get that. So I think I have to close my eyes and call this one. Normally I wouldn't call this, but I don't think he has a really strong hand. And I think I'm getting just about, yeah. So this is kind of okay then. Although I'm behind, I needed 33%. I'm getting 40%, and therefore this is fine and okay to do. Had he been a bit deeper, I would obviously not have gotten the right odds to call, but here I got the right odds once I make the big 3-bet squeeze, and it worked out okay. And I'm not being results oriented. I don't really care whether I won that pot or not, but it's all about the decision, and I thought it would be just about a call. I didn't think it would be winning massively, but against a range of all sorts of pocket pairs up to maybe tens or so, and then some hands like exactly the type of hands that he had, like ace 10, I think against that range my king queen offsuit does just about okay to warrant a call there. Okay, pocket sevens. I do want to fold out some overcards. I will not fold out anything better than what I have, but I think if I go with 7 big blinds, I might just about fold out a lot of ace, queen, ace, jack type of hands. So now that the jack comes, I do not expect him to have a lot of jack X. Oh, here it's quite interesting. I'm going to check this one, but here I can just continue barreling, I think. And now with this on the left, I'm going to bet. I want to put some money into the pot, and unfortunately both of them fold. Yeah, so I'm now turning my hand into a bluff because I don't think he has a lot of jack X. So either he did call with something like ace king or so. Fortunately he calls again, and now the question is, do we have showdown value? And I don't think so. I just really don't think we have any showdown value, which is why I will just jam this one and hoping to get a fold, which we do get, because I didn't think... So let me talk you through this one. On the flop, I bet fairly big and I just want him to fold over cards. And if he doesn't fold over cards, yes, he could of course have a set there, but if he doesn't have overcard, he has some sort of a pair, which could be a 9 or could be 8s through 5s, something like that. And again, that range, if he doesn't have a set there, I think I can get that one off by the river. So that's why I continue barreling, because I really don't think he has a jack at all. And then when the turn is, the river is kind of not a kind, it's kind of a blank, yeah, because he doesn't have fours, but it's actually good for me because now it's even more unlikely that he has pocket fours, because there's only one combo left of that, and because of that I have the green light to just go for it. And I think if he had a set at any point before that, I would have heard from him, because most players are not disciplined enough to just check call twice there. They would just think I have a big hand, and then they would just check jam, or at least check raise the turn, if not even already the flop. And that's why I think I got a hand like maybe pocket 8s, pocket 10s, or some sort of a 9 to fold. So I think red line should be okay-ish now, although I did have to fold in big pots as well. But I'm happy with my aggression. And yeah, playing a lot of 3-bet pots, that is actually the key to modern poker, both online and live really, and a lot of players are not very comfortable with that. Oh dear, I called this one. This was obviously a misclick with 6-3 offsuit. Here he makes it just over half pot. I will check raise this one. So now obviously I have to fold, and here the check raise went well. Yeah, I mean this was obviously a misclick here. I meant to check because I didn't see that the small blind raised there. So okay. Yeah, so I was talking about the 3-bet pots, and I think a lot of players are not very comfortable with them, but you need to get comfortable. You need to really learn how to play 3-bet pots, both in position, out of position, as the aggressor, and less so as the pre-flop caller. But I advocate to play of 3-bet or fold strategy in any position except for the big blind most of the time, and that is true for online and live poker. And because of that, you just have to know how to play 3-bet pots well, because otherwise, if you don't know that and you play 3-bet or fold, then you are just in way too many pots where you have an issue if you don't know how to play them. So that's why study 3-bet pots. Here, not great. Flop was terrible. Turn card was even worse. And now, I mean, yes, we do have a set here. And I do think that I have to call, even though he potted it. He might have a good diamond, but I doubt it. And I'll tell you why, but I have to call, and he does have a good diamond. Okay, yeah, this is one. The reason why I said I doubt it was because the ace of diamonds, I didn't think he would have the ace of diamonds there. And then, of course, the king of diamonds with a jack, that kind of makes sense. But he has such a wide range because no money at all was put in there and after the flop, and so he has everything. He has a hand like 7-5 of clubs, for example, and he might over bluff, over stab with those hands on the river, and he's not doing it with a 5 of diamonds, which means that I think he's saying he either has a really big hand or he has, sorry, just need to find the right bet size here. He says he either has a really big hand or he has a bluff because he doesn't do it with anything else. Okay, here we are really not great, but now I think I have to go fairly big. I have to go, well, why not 65? Because he has to fold everything that's not the nut flush pretty much, and he doesn't have a lot of nut flushes the way he played it. So got to fold there. That was another one where I think I was happy with my aggression. Yeah, so back to this one. He is saying he's either got a hand like an ace or king of diamonds, not even 10 of diamonds, or a bluff, and that's why I called there. Here, with 2 players in the pot, I'm just about getting the right odds to call with my 6s. Obviously checking. Here we're getting squeezed by a somewhat bluffy player potentially, but I still have to fold, and here I snap fold on king queen queen against 2 players with my pocket 6s, and that's another one where I think a lot of players would feel that they get bullied and they want to call because they have a pair, and it's unlikely that the other guy has a queen there. But I think this is terrible because the guy did bet into 2 players. He'd bet fairly big. So yes, of course he could have a bluff, but I still think you're getting yourself into trouble by calling there. So just get out of the way. Okay, so doing all right on this right table. We've recouped some money, but not amazing. Okay, we have ace jack on ace 9 5. This is one where we could. Okay, here on the right, I'm just going to bet this one. I'm going to just check because we now have two pair. And now I can go for a overbet, and here I am gonna go for a small bet, get called, and now if I want him to fold anything that's not an ace or better, and I think I can achieve that with about a half pot bet, which we do. Yeah, so if you have any questions about how I play or what I do here, why I do certain things, then please ask. So as I said on this one, this was quite interesting because he... Obviously I'm not targeting an ace there, but if he has something like pocket eights, pocket tens, or something like that, I am very happy to get him to fold that. And here I raised ace deuce off because I saw the big blind is very tight, but of course the small blind now called and he donks, and yes, maybe I could get him off something, but I prefer to just fold. And here we are quite deep, but I'm willing to 3-bet king queen off against this pool. And we get them to fold. Yeah, so if people tell you that at small stakes you can't bluff because they don't fold, don't believe them. That's absolute nonsense. There are situations where that is true and you shouldn't bluff a calling station, but here, especially in these Zoom games, players do fold and aggression definitely wins. Is there. Surprisingly, players do like to fold. I mean, don't know if they like to fold, but they do fold. Let's put it this way. Okay, it's checked again. Can we get them to fold now? I think I'll just check it. Okay, I think an ace might have... I'm just gonna overbet this one pretty big because I think an ace would have bet out at some point. And yep, we do get a fold. Yeah, we were just invited to bet big there and get them to fold. Okay, ace 5 suited, the classic 3-betting hand. What's our 3-bet percentage? 13%. I can live with that. Okay, we get called and now he donks. Half pot. I do not really enjoy that, but I will just call for now because I think he will make more mistakes along the way, but he donks. I mean, now it's not a donk, but now he bets again and he bets half pot, and all I have is, well, I do have some bits, but I just don't like this. What do we have? Okay, I'll just give it to you, buddy. Here I will check because I got called in position, and since he checked, I'm going to overbet this one because I do want to get money into the pot. And yes, I expect him to fold quite a bit, but if he has a pocket pair, he will not fold. And so now can we go? I need, again, like imagine if he has, well, if he has a queen, he will actually raise me, but against anything else, I do want to... He will raise with a really strong hand, and he doesn't have... Okay, let's just still... Okay, I only go with a small one. I changed my mind, but he snapped cold, which is not a good sign. But yeah, wow, he called there with 10 high, just with a gut shot, and then he had a 9 at the end. So he might have called more because he's just such a weak player. But what I meant to say is that if he has a queen and I bet fairly small, then he will probably raise. And if I... if I go bigger, then a hand like pocket fives or a queen. Sorry, I need to overbet this one now. If he has something. Here again, I'm just going to try to fold everything out that's not an ace. And it works again. And this guy had the king. You see, he called my 2x on the river with a king. So I'm happy with that. Obviously. Yeah, I think now we're playing a bit better. At the beginning, I got a bit unlucky. Here, ace 10 against a player who doesn't like to fold to a lot of 3 bets, I will just fold. There's no shame in folding ace 10 offsuit on the button, because I don't want to call it for sure. And yes, I could 3 bet it, but against someone who doesn't fold a lot, I don't want to necessarily play a pot, although I don't completely mind. So it's not a disaster, because I have a semi-playable hand and I have position, but I'm just happy to fold there. Okay, actually 9-7 off. I might not. I'm not going to play it against the button open. Pocket fives, we can raise. Not going to continue queen jack offsuit against the raise. 7-4 suited, definitely not going to call. Okay, now getting some not so playable hands, although king 10 is okay. We can open this one. Okay, against 2 players, we have top pair, top kicker. Here I'm happy to c-bet my ace queen, and I can c-bet top pairs, not top kicker, it's second kicker. And now I do not want to continue. The 8 of hearts is pretty terrible for my hand. And I will just check this one down, and he had the 4. Okay, I mean, okay, so this is interesting. Now we could bluff. Do I want to turn my top pair into a bluff? I just think I have the best hand if no one has a heart, and I have to go really big to fold out a heart. Well, no, what happened here? Did I? Oh, of course he had straight there, which, yeah, I didn't even see. Okay, this guy has 7 big blinds. I mean, I will call, but I was thinking of raising, but I don't want to get it in. I don't want to have an all-in. And see, this is the issue now. I think I just want to fold this one. So everyone had a 10 here, and I just got unlucky in the end. Okay, yeah, he actually did have a hand. And yeah, see, that's why I didn't want to go all in against this guy. He would definitely have called there. This guy limps the button, okay. Definitely not gonna bet now. He now bets fairly big, but I might have induced that, so definitely going to call. And yep, looks like I induced it with my snap check on the turn. And he had king queen. Okay. Okay, this guy now limps. Okay, yes, there's a fold obviously. Queen jack, monkey in the middle against 2 players on ace 9-5 is a check fold. Especially once the other player calls. Ace deuce here. If everyone folds to me, I will still fold because this guy seems quite loose. Queen 10 on the other hand, against someone with 6-3, I can definitely open. And we get raised, which is really boring. I'm not going, even though it's just a min click, I'm not going to re-raise him. Now we flop a gut shot. And he bets pretty big, so it bets pretty big, but with a gut shot and we're being very deep, I can definitely... Okay, now I am going to actually go for an unconventional line. I am going to donk here because I do have this, and now, okay, I even got there, and now I can just debate. I probably have the best hand, and I want to go with something where he would still call me. So here I have to raise first. Can I get called by anything? I think I can still get called by weaker hands. Here the ace 8-8, not great. I am going to c-bet this one really small though. And he calls. Unfortunately here on the left the guy folds. And now I will just fold, just check, I mean. And he bets half pot, which could be an ace, but I feel like he would bet bigger with an ace. He might just have nothing, so I need to call this one. And indeed, he had king 10. So I got some nice value there, and this deadline is overbluffed because I do think whilst he shouldn't necessarily bet too big with an ace there because the kicker doesn't matter and he would chop against any other ace, and it's unlikely that he will actually get called by a lot weaker. But the reason why I think he should... Sorry, just need to... Ooh, not quite like that. Yeah, but the reason is that he should bet smaller to entice smaller hands to call or to potentially even come over the top, but I think a player with that player profile will not like to do that. Oh, now I am really not paying attention. I just min-clicked this one, but that's fine. Excuse me. I can use this to my advantage now. Okay, and here there is not that much. What can I do? I can go with the overbet on this river. And here I'm also going to barrel on the right. And here this guy, so I think he might have some sort of an ace, but I do get him to fold with the overbet. So overbets have worked quite well here, especially on the river. I got some good folds. This is just such a nitty pool. And here we have the same situation again. Ace 10, this time I just think I will have to fold because it just doesn't play super well. And I don't want to 3-bet it, and I definitely don't want to call with it. Okay, let's do one more orbit and then sit out. This one, pocket sixes, gonna raise. So yep, I'm quite happy with the folds that I got. I made some big moves. There were probably some mistakes, especially like where I called once where I shouldn't have called pre-flop when I had 6-3 offsuit where it was just a misclick. Ooh, this is a very interesting one. So what we can do here is we can go fairly small, just under a quarter. We'll definitely get called, and now we can start piling money in. So let's go with something like 15 and then jam if he calls. But he doesn't even call, so that was nice. Okay, let's see how we did. I need to come here actually and refresh. Okay, so we won a little bit, that was fine, and the red line was really good after we didn't start very well. We turned it around, so thanks for watching and see you next time.